You want to try your hand at building a floating shelf? Welcome to Design Build Workshop. Let's get busy. Be sure to stick around to the end for a helpful shop tip. So we're going to start from ready-made pieces that we can get from our big lot store, and that is 1x3 poplar and 6x1/2 poplar. And these come in 3-foot lengths, and I think you can get them in a little bit longer than that too, but this is a 3-foot length and it's already finished. And the 1x3 is already finished as well. And this is all we're going to need. I use my miter box for doing a lot of the cutting on this just because it's a little simpler, it's cleaner, and it's actually really accurate. So that's why I use the miter saw for this. This saw is probably, I don't know, from the 40s or 50s, but it works great. So before we get too far along in this build, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me produce content. And if you like the channel, please do so. Sanding off the top here just to kind of get those edges cleaned up a little bit. And then here's showing some of the gluing up of the side pieces. Now remember, this is a box, not necessarily a solid shelf. And the reason is you want that little extra thickness so it can work against the wall when you mount it. And so it helps kind of hold it in place. Plus, you can get a thicker shelf without having all of the weight. All I did was use some pin nails to kind of hold everything in place, gluing the other side. I don't usually use a ton of glue. I know some people use a lot. I prefer not to go crazy with it, but it's pin nailed in anyway, and that's going to help it seal up. Ripping the French cleat. So I'm just using a single piece, basically cutting it exactly in half at a 45-degree angle. And that's what's going to hold the whole thing in place. And here's just showing how this part fits. So it's the same width as the other part. I'm countersinking the holes for the French cleat so that when I screw it into the wall, the screws won't interfere with the mounting. So the French cleat works because of its shape. So we're going to go ahead and mount this up into their test board here. So like I said, I haven't tried this before. So we're going to get this set up. And we're going to see if the French cleat will work for the floating shelf. We'll mount that up. Make sure we're pushed down. It's locked in. All right. And now what makes this work is the cleat kind of sucks it back against the wall. And then this right here, this edge, is working against here. So when I put downward pressure, it's kind of pushing on this. But we're going to do one more thing to kind of secure this. And that is at this top point right here where you're not going to see it, I'm also going to drill a small screw into here so I really tie into that cleat right here so this shelf can't lift off. So I'm going to show you a little trick when you're putting on new sandpaper on your disc sander. Once it's all clean, what you're going to do is you're going to take the backing and peel it halfway back and fold it upon itself. So you can see here I'm folding it back. I'm going to put a little crease in there so it kind of keep it in place. And then you're going to slide that in between the table and the disc. And then once you get it in place, you're just going to go ahead and put that down. Make sure it's sticking well. And then you're going to rotate the whole thing halfway over, grab the piece of backing, pull it out, and then you can set the whole thing. And to take it off, you can do the reverse. Thanks again for joining me today with the floating shelf build on Design Build Workshop. I hope you enjoyed the content. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.